Plumber, and I'm a survivor of a drunk driving crash. On June 11th, 2021, I got in my car and I said goodbye to my dog, who likes to say goodbye out the second window, the second floor window. And I drove on the parkway and got off on exit 160 and got on Bergen Road. And I was going to meet my sister and my niece for sushi in Ridgewood, and I was listening to a podcast, and I was just living my life. And before I knew it, I was in the northbound lane, and someone tried to eke out of the southbound lane, and then they went back in. And then another car came completely out of the southbound lane and came into my lane and accelerated, and that's the last thing I remember. The next thing I remember, I heard my name being whispered over and over and over again, Therese, 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 and my eyes opened. And then I heard, we gotta get her out of there, it's gonna blow. And Detective Doug Rager is here today. I don't know where you are, can you just raise your hand? Yeah, hey buddy. Doug took a phone call at work that day and was just running a couple minutes late and ended up in bumper-to-bumper traffic on Remembrance Road and had this gut feeling that something was off. And this is why I am indebted to each and every one of you. He responded to that gut feeling and put his lights on and drove to where the crash had happened. And I believe you witnessed a couple people videotaping the crash and just standing there with their phones. And Doug went to get me out of my car, but I was locked in with my seatbelt. And there was another Good Samaritan that came by and said he had a knife. And so he ran to get his knife, and Doug rescued the other two guys, the drunk driver and his brother. And then they cut me out and got me out. And seconds later, both cars exploded, took down a telephone pole. And it was reported that it was just explosion after explosion after explosion. And I'm kind of mad at myself that I don't have the picture behind me, but I'll bring that next time. I was then taken into an ambulance and taken to Hackensack Hospital. And the podcast I was listening to was Dr. Death. I don't know if any of you have ever listened to it, but when I was wheeled into the emergency room, I was like, please don't hurt me. I thought that maybe something crazy would happen. And that sense of humor and that tenacity is, I believe, what has me standing here today, still alive. My right leg was completely shattered. It had to be put back together with so much metal. My right ankle and my right knee shattered like light bulbs. That's what the surgeon said. My stomach had to be opened because the seatbelt perforated my colon. My left knee pad was held together by a tendon. My right elbow was sticking out. It was an open fracture, and that had to be repaired. And my left hand was broken, and that had to be in a cast. And so when I finally came to in the ICU at Hackensack, I couldn't move my body. And I didn't know what was happening. And I kept thinking like I was just supposed to go get dinner with my sister, and I don't know what happened. And the guy made a decision, just like was shared before. And he made a decision to get into a car that he had no business being in. And he changed my life in a second. And I'm a girl that just like danced and worked out every day and ran